Hello everyone and good afternoon. Hope things are well and the build up to Newcastle's return to Premier League football has begun. Despite it only being 3 games into the season, we've already had an international break, and normally I'll be quite negative about that and I go, oh, I miss Newcastle, I wish we were back. But judging by how Newcastle players have actually been out in international duty, I have to say I think we look much better coming back after this break, and we're going to get through why in this video. But you're seeing the title, you're seeing the thumbnail, just explaining what is going on behind the scenes, because I think especially over the last couple of weeks, especially since the window closed, we've had so much negativity come out in the media about Newcastle United behind the scenes. Paul Mitchell, Eddie Howe, the ownership, just everyone being targeted by the media. Is it fair? Has the media drilled this up for attention and additional articles where, in a financial point of view, it benefits them in revenue? Or has it actually been bad behind the scenes? Has there been quite a lot going on? So I want to be as honest as possible. I want to shoot it how it is. I want to talk about it in this video. So we've got a lot of Newcastle United news to get into. And just off topic, I wanted to mention this briefly. But of course, you see my last video, we took part in the Great North Run for the first time ever. I was devastated and upset to see the news yesterday that a 29-year-old actually passed away during the race. So our thoughts and condolences go out to the family of the individual at this time. We'll talk a bit more about it away from this video, but obviously it's not relevant to this Newcastle United content, so I'm going to keep it brief. But yeah, devastating news, and my thoughts and prayers go out at this time. But getting on topic with Newcastle United, we're going to talk about the international break, because that's been a couple of weeks off for us. Straight away, last night, Lewis Hall, man of the match, under 21s. England win 2-1 over Austria. Lewis Hall gets both assists and gets man of the match. So phenomenal performance from him. Someone that I fully expect to get into our actual international team going forward. And I think probably deserves to be in there already, in all honesty. But at this moment in time, we're trying to gradually get him in. Wow, he just gets better and better, especially his age as well. And I remember this time last season, I think they get through the first few matches, I remember a lot of Newcastle fans almost being, well, hang on, we spent £30 million on this kid and he's not even playing, so what's the point of this signing? Oh, he has turned up and he has performed, and I have to say, wow, unbelievable plan. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. And staying on topic of our Lions, let's talk about Anthony Gordon, because he's had a lot of attention. Played quite well against Ireland, wasn't able to score. However, there's been a bit of a side of Gareth Southgate where he wasn't actually playing Gordon because he was on his phone during the bike accident, so Southgate wasn't pleased by that. And also some of the comments Gordon said in the media about England being quite predictable. Do I think the player's correct in that? Yes, absolutely. I think we are rubbish to watch. But at the same time, as a player, I think especially in today's day and age when you come out in the media, you probably aren't allowed to do that. So it's, as much as I agree with Gordon, yeah, it's a tricky one to talk about. But Southgate's out now. Gordon's got an opportunity to perform under a new manager, and judging by our performance against Ireland, we look up to par, we look good. So well done, Anthony Gordon. I'm sure you do well tonight as well. Alexander Isak was able to bag himself 3 goals and an assist during his time with Sweden, so that was fantastic to see. Someone that just before the Tottenham game had a little bit of a goal drought, perhaps a lack of confidence in front of goals, so the fact that he's been able to perform well for Sweden's great to see. And speaking of Sweden, Elanga was part of their national team. It was quite interesting to hear his comments, because he was mentioning the fact that Isak was talking about him, about the Newcastle United move. Of course, Newcastle were heavily interested in him towards the back end of the window. It says that he's still contracted Nottingham Forest, but I thought his comments were interesting. Definitely implies that Newcastle were actually in for the player, and someone that I probably expect Newcastle to go back in for January, if not next summer. I definitely want to watch. Forest are going to be similar to Newcastle, where again next summer they'll have to sell a few more players, and this is one where I'll keep an eye on this one. It'll be interesting. It'll be good to see as well how he does this season. But Elanga, definitely a player Newcastle does seem to be keen on. And finally, we can't talk about the international break without talking about our main man in that middle, Sandro Tonali, because he played 90 minutes in both of Italy's games. Scored in the last game but was offside, and my word, that assist against France is one of the best goals I've seen in years. So well done to Tonali. And I actually think, because of the fact he played 90 minutes in both of these games, I'm not sure Eddie Howe will actually start him against Wolves. I reckon he might be on the bench for that Wolves game, just due to the fact he's played 90 minutes in 2 matches this week. So it's going to be fascinating to see what Eddie Howe does. But We look so much better coming back after this international break. Not to mention as well, like Kieran Trippier and Fabian Shaw have actually retired, so these older players can't get injured out in international duty because they're not playing with their national teams anymore. So we look good. We look good coming back. Positive. Wolves away is a tricky game, a match we always drop points in, so this time it has to be 3 points. We've got to make sure we can start to end some of these little jinxes that we have. We're unable to do it at Bournemouth, but I think at Wolves we should be looking to win the game. But that's the good part to get out of the way first. We look good coming back from the international break, and I wanted to talk about Newcastle like behind the scenes because, as I mentioned before, the amount of just journal reports coming out, amount of negative reports coming out about Newcastle behind the scenes looking a bit leggy since Dan Ashworth's left, looking a bit leggy since Amanda and Murder, they both went out. And I thought it would be interesting to talk about Amanda and Murder first because there's been reports that they were actually quite upset by comments that Paul Mitchell said about the old structure not quite working out. But listen, if you were upset, tell that to Elliot Anderson, tell that to Yankee Raminta, because those two young lads have had to go out of this football club because we as a club put ourselves in a position where we needed PSR sales. I mean, that poor lad Elliot Anderson's already got player of the month for Nottingham Forest. I mean, that is a homegrown player, someone that's one of our own. And yes, the Premier League rules I think are crap. I don't think we should be in a position where in the Premier League you actually expected to sell your youth players in order to be able to sustain profits. So in the Premier League sense of things, yes, I think it's a pro rule. But we put ourselves in that position. How on earth a guy like Elliot Anderson has to leave the football club? I think it's mad. It's good to see him doing well, but you guys are upset. You're on a ship with Dan Ashworth. Tell that to the lads, tell that to the young kids. I've had to leave this club because of our mistakes. So, yeah, I was intrigued by their comments because they're out of the club now, so to see them get quite upset in the media. I would argue I don't think they're in a position to be upset, just due to the fact that, again, we had to sell a couple of our youth players. Amanda and Murder, as much as I love them, they aren't qualified to do that job. They're not. The investors in a football club, they were great being hands-on, but the reality is they probably aren't the people that should be hands-on. And as much as we might want to bash down heels and bash Paul Mitchell and bash the club since they've left, again, Amanda and Murder aren't really supposed to be in that position to begin off with. But talking about Paul Mitchell, now look, I went to put an interesting article before saying that Paul Mitchell and Eddie Howe actually being able to, close a hatchet, both of them being able to calm everything down after being a few dodgy weeks. In all honesty, when you look at Newcastle behind the scenes and when you actually talk about the infrastructure at the club, I think Eddie Howe and Paul Mitchell was the big one, because in my personal opinion, there was a massive divide between the pair of them. Statistically, that was our worst window since the takeover. It's our first window since Dan Ashworth's been fully out of the football club. Paul Mitchell's came as a new director, and I don't think it's a coincidence we haven't signed any key marquee players. I think what Paul Mitchell wanted was completely different what Eddie Howe wanted. I think it was a massive divide down the middle where those two weren't able to come to a compromise, and we wasted precious time. In Paul Mitchell's defence, again, the guys came in during the window. He hasn't had the time at the start of the window and before the window to be able to put his plan into place, and I think there has been a massive disagreement between the two. In all honesty, Eddie Howe probably wasn't pleased when Paul Mitchell first came, and he wanted to get the players he wanted in, and that hasn't happened, and you've got to point the finger somewhere, and I think it is hard to justify whose fault it is. But it's good to see them, according to the media, have put the hatchet down now. If you want my personal opinion on it, yes, it's bad window, but I probably don't think it's as bad as the media's made it out to be. I think the media's made it out to be worse than what it actually is. You've got to remember, our team now is more than good enough, in my opinion, should be getting European football. I just think we'll probably missed a chance to get Champions League football, which I felt like this season we would have had an opportunity to do. So still could be on, but I don't think we've helped ourselves trying to get that position is perhaps the best way of putting it. But in terms of where we are now, Newcastle are being able to calm things down. I think the club's done a good job of not having so much come out in the media. I think the media's probably drilled a lot of this stuff themselves rather than Newcastle sources trying to stir things up. So I've got to credit the club because they have been able to keep quite quiet about a lot of things. Hasn't been much that's came out. But going back after the international break, I think we look good. I think it's been quite positive. I think there's a lot of positivity coming into the Wolves game. I think Newcastle put themselves in a good spot. Got to remember, after Wolves, we've got Fulham away, we've got Wimbledon in the Cup, we've got some nice fixtures, and then with City at home, and that's going to be a massive slap in the face when we've got them. But Newcastle, other than that City game, have good fixtures, so it's important for us. We've got to keep this momentum up. So far, have we played well? No. But have we won matches? Just about, yes, just about we have won those games. Forest were perhaps a bit fortunate on pens, but in all honesty, Tottenham thought was good. Bournemouth wasn't great. Forest wasn't great even. I think especially the away matches, we need to pick up points in these away games. Form last season was horrendous and there was away games, and this time has to be much better. But win games, I can't complain, can you? So Newcastle are coming into the Wolves match on Sunday. That's going to be a match where it's going to start the kick Newcastle into where you guys probably should expect them to finish this season. I think we want to say a few more matches out like to Tonali. Probably will give an indication where Newcastle are going to do this season. But not bad so far. We look good after this international break, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this club is next. But appreciate you all watching anyway. In terms of this week, so just before we wrap things up, I'm going to be doing some more videos that are not perhaps Newcastle related, but we are going to do some more videos. I'm planning on starting some non-league videos this season. When I have something during the week where, again, with Newcastle not being you, I'm going to be mostly home. There'll be a few times I'll be down south all week or so when Newcastle play a few games, but I'll be mostly home, so I can attend some non-league matches this season. I want to cover some different clubs and just to make sure in terms of North East football and football in Newcastle, you'll be able to see more about that. In terms of my own football routine, again, we've got bits and bobs of that going on behind the scenes. Probably got it in hiatus for a week or so just until I got some guaranteed numbers down, because people haven't been committed, I guess is perhaps the best way of putting it. But in terms of Newcastle United women's team, I'll attend as many games as I can. The women's team, I'll miss the first couple because we've got a home game when we played Fulham away and Wimbledon. But for me, I'll be staying down south for the pair of the games because it's just much easier for me to do that. So I will miss the home match then. It's Portsmouth away the week after that. I'll try and do Portsmouth on the day, but you got to remember, there and back in the coach is mental. So I'll try my best. I am honestly going to try my best and do that game. But yeah, we've got the two derbies though over the international break next, so we'll definitely do those ones. We'll try and get as many done as possible this season, but it's going to be a little tricky depending on what I am doing during the week. But I'll get as many videos as I can done. Try and get some different content coming out during the week and different content on Newcastle United coming out during the week. So there's a bit more of a what's the word for it? There's a bit more coming out, I guess. Just more content for you guys and just content where you can all enjoy and just relax, I guess. It's perhaps the word for it. But thank you all for watching anyway. If you've got any recommendations, please do let me know. I hope everything's been well. Lovely speaking to you all, and we'll see you all in the next one.